Hello, everybody, and welcome to the July 27th, 2021 instance of the SIG Windows Kubernetes community meeting. As always, these meetings are recorded and uploaded to YouTube, so be sure to adhere to all of the CNCF code of conducts. All right, let's get started. I guess we have a pretty light agenda today. So if anybody has any topics they want to discuss, just feel free to either throw them out in the chat or we can discuss them or add them to the agenda. We can start off with some introductions if there's anybody who's kind of new to the project and would like either an introductions from us or would like to introduce themselves. I see a couple of people who I believe are new here, but it's okay if people don't want to say anything right now. If not, we can kind of get into the announcements. I believe today is docs freeze for the 122 release, at least for any feature related docs. I think that there's a slight difference in deadlines. I believe we're in pretty good shape with that. We've got the docs PR merged for the host process containers going to alpha. We had a couple of other doc updates just for general updates for some of the Kubernetes on Windows pages and everything else. Is anybody tracking any outstanding docs updates or anything that we need to be aware of? I will take silence as.
So sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
The only thing I wanted to ask about, Mark, was the projected volume issue. Is there any resolution for that? And if there is not, should we, I don't know, add something to the doc that says that if you're using projected volumes with, Windows pods or Windows containers, the permissions are not will not be set correctly?
Have we finished up some investigations with that, James? Do you know?
Brandon, I think Brandon was following up on that. So I know that we had some conversations and we're still looking into it.
Yeah, it's still kind of an open decision as to how we want to move forward with that and figure that out. So yeah, it's still in progress.
For that though, I think since that's not tied to a particular release R event, when we do come to a resolution, we can just update the main website and those like not one of the specific version branches, and that'll go across all of the versions that we update.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. This is there since I think 119. We just caught it now. So yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's good to bring up again. Do we have any idea how much longer we think that the investigation is going to take?
I think we can have a better answer for next week.
Okay.
Okay, I'll add
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we can just talk about it again next week. If not, we can think about adding some docs or something like that.
Thanks for keep on bringing that up. It's an important one.
Okay, I put some notes in the agenda and we'll make sure to discuss that next week. Yeah, okay. Next, I think, was that you, James, that added the EDE tests in for CAPI?
Yeah, did we want to do the European friendly time meeting?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we skipped that. So I think that there was a little bit more chatter on the SIG Windows Slack channel about a potentially more European-friendly meeting. I believe, was it Bart who brought that up? But I don't see him here, which might be indicative that we do need a European-friendly meeting. I mentioned that I would discuss this on, like at the meeting today, but probably more. If anybody is in European time zone and would like to comment, we can do this. I threw out a couple of ideas. We can try like piloting, just doing 2 meetings for a little bit and see if there's enough momentum to keep a European time zone meeting going. We could, I know a number of other either groups or SIGs have at least 1 meeting a month where they alternate from like a US friendly to a European friendly meeting. I'm open for other options. Given the nature of this though, maybe we should just bring this up on Slack. But yeah, I'll open that up for comments now if anybody has any.
Were there any suggestions? What kind of hours would they prefer?
No, I didn't see any. I thought I saw somebody mention that they were going to add it to the agenda, but I don't see those updates here.
It would be interesting. At what time would they suggest? Currently, we are in GMT +3, so it's 7:30 here.
All right, maybe I'll do a poll on. We can try to do a poll to see what time zones people are in. Let me add that here.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
We have GMT +3. Are there any other European time zones kind of at this meeting?
I wonder
and
whether, yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking, Mark, it may still be good if we can squeeze the time like we do early Pacific to accommodate and have one meeting instead of two, because I know there are some SIGs who do two meetings, but it kind of becomes hard to manage, right?
And yeah, the thing is that we did this with the network policy working group, and I remember like nobody from Europe came to it. So it was like me getting up at 5 a.m. running it. So what about if we just did a thing where we said either there was like if we all sync up, if we have another meeting that's Europe friendly or that's more focused around Europe, but like there's an actual purpose to it, so that, you know what I mean? It's not just like a random, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like we're all, one of us can be there that's in America. Like I'm happy to go, but I feel like if someone in Europe, like maybe Claudio kind of organized and ran it or something, if you wanted to, Claudio, or maybe Friedrich could, or someone, then it would be like, all right, you know, y'all are running this, and then I'm happy to come on European time and, you know what I mean, relay stuff between time zones because I'm on the East Coast. But
okay,
I wouldn't want someone in California organizing a meeting in Europe because that's usually a bad idea, right? Like,
yeah, I saw Friedrich said that this time actually
I
works
think-
out pretty good for them.
Yeah, that was what I was about to say. This is quite a good time even for us, and we're an hour later. A second meeting would just, I don't know, I think it needs more discussion. Like,
Yeah.
It would also be harder for you guys, and I don't think there's much attendance from just the European side, so.
Yeah, I think if we could have productive meetings and keep everybody in sync, I'd be willing to. Like I can even get up at or have them at different hours, but I kind of agree with Jay that unless there's a purpose to some of the meetings, it can kind of fizzle out. I guess I'll bring this back up on the Slack channel and we can see if there's any, if we want to do anything or not. But it seems like as of right now, we're thinking of just keeping it at the same time.
yeah, but if I would also encourage anybody to start up something in Europe and lead it, right? Like go for it, like get in there. Like I'm happy to come and to be supportive. I just don't want to be the American that organizes a meeting in another time zone that I'm not 100% sure about.
Yeah, don't want to
So
be the only one showing up.
We should probably encourage Bart or whoever said that to be like, yeah, like start one. Some of us will come.
Yeah.
If there is a need, I can attend if needed. It is gonna be during my day.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Okay, I guess that's that. All right, James, did you want to talk about this?
So I've been, for a little while now, I've been working on getting the end-to-end tests for the Kubernetes end-to-end test working in CAPC. And I was, so the link that there's a comment at the bottom there. Recently, there was some work done in Cluster API to enable running the CI and PR version components in CAPI upstream, and then be able to share that across the different providers. They have a custom script that they inject at the test time, and it was asked here whether or not we wanted to do that for Windows. And I was just wondering if there's other folks out there doing any end-to-end testing, like against with using the CAPI test framework, and if we should start to move forward with like kind of centralizing that logic. For me, like right now with Docker and using just Docker shim, it doesn't really make sense because everybody's kind of doing it slightly different. But I think as we bring in privileged containers, I thought it would make sense to start to centralize some of that logic because it's all the same, so we can share that across the providers. Is there anybody out there doing this or have patterns that they're using?
I mean, we are using a CAPI and CAPZ based CI for the networking side, so for Flannel and stuff.
Are you using the CAPI test framework for that?
I need to check what updates have been going on in that in our CI scripts, but I would venture a guess and saying no right now. I'm not even sure what the test framework. Let me check that.
I don't see Perry online. I know he was doing some stuff with this as well.
Yeah, I was gonna see if Perry was available to comment too.
All right. Yeah, I think something we can look forward to in the future, but as of right now, I think it doesn't make a ton of sense. But as more folks start to use CAPI and for their testing, we can revisit.
Okay, I added a note to see if we wanted to centralize or consolidate that logic for Windows. Okay, and we've already discussed the projected volumes. Gonna follow up with that next week. Is there anything else that folks would want to discuss, or should we move into the pairing early?
I just say, James, I'm overall definitely supportive of centralizing that logic. I just don't know what it is. So like,
Yeah.
I'm just jumping around today, so like my brain's kind of fried. But
Should
yeah,
we follow up on that next week too?
Yeah,
I'm
I
actually
mean,
curious about that one as well and see how to add it to the networking bits that we have.
okay,
The
cool.
network
Yeah,
CI that we have.
you can see how they did it for the Linux side, and
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe we can come up with something for the Windows side eventually.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's bring this up on Slack so we can give folks a chance to look into it and form some opinions. But thanks for bringing that up. All right, I'm going to stop the recording and end the meeting, and we can go into the pairing now. Thanks everybody for attending.
Thanks, folks. See you all on Slack.